Welcome everyone to episode 20 of Pro Player Plays PGA Tour 2K21. Here we go, we got the finishing hole of the front nine. That is what we are going to focus on today, and I've actually already laid out a couple things. I just wanted to get this thing planned because I plan on doing the whole entire hole on this episode. So I wanted to get a little bit of a head start, and this is kind of what I have so far, and it doesn't look like much at the moment, but we have got a pretty long par 5, and it's about, 595? And that's pretty lengthy, and I'm considering shortening it. I haven't decided yet, but I'm gonna make the entire hole, and then I'm not gonna finish the tee box, and I might move this tee box up into here a little bit. Just I can play with the length of the hole by moving this tee box. So this is the general area where everything is going to be, and the idea with this hole that I have in my mind is we are going to have a tee shot where you've got an area of fairway going along this bunker right here. And the closer that you can fit it to this side, you'll have a better angle at getting it over into this area, which I'm hoping is not in the bunker, obviously, but kind of in here. Or if you can cover the bunker with your second shot, get it over into this area and give yourself an easy chip to most of the green, except for maybe a pin on this front left side. I actually kind of designed this green a bit like a lion's mouth green, one of the template hole greens. I don't know, I kind of want to fiddle with it. I'm not like the biggest fan of template holes, but I do occasionally like to sprinkle in some of the strategic mix that they have. So I think if you get a pin over here, it would be worth your while to lay it up maybe into this area. I'm going to make a pretty wide layup area is the plan, and if you've got this front left pin, you can hit it over into here, give yourself a better angle, but you wouldn't necessarily want to lay up here if you're going to a pin over here because you'd have to cross over that bunker. That's generally the plan with this hole. So back to the tee shot here. The driving range is going to be over on this side, and I kind of want to integrate the look of the driving range into this hole I'm going to add some out of bounds that you would definitely see on a course like this, an in-course out of bounds where they don't want people going and hitting their ball on the range. They'd mark it off as OB, and I think it'll look really cool, and I think it will make it look like a very real golf hole. And that's kind of what we're going for with this course. We want to make it feel real. It's not necessarily like the greatest from a design standpoint because obviously there's area over here that the golf course owns, but I think in-course out of bounds, it's not necessarily in-course out of bounds, but it's marking off the driving range as out of bounds, I think will add to the challenge of the hole by if you take on this left side, you could get it out of bounds if you hit it just barely over to here. So that's the plan with this hole, and yeah, I'm ready to get into it. So I'm going to fill out the rest of the hole here. I'm going to put down the fairway and get all of the surfaces laid down so that we can start figuring out how we want to plant this thing. And that was the last thing I wanted to mention was I'm going to make a little bit of an inlet right here of trees, kind of give the hole some shape so that if you're over on this left side, you've got a wide open look and those trees aren't in your way. But if you hit it over here to the right, then you're kind of blocked out and you're forced to lay it up over here, which maybe isn't the direction that you want to be coming into this green on. I think I want to slope this green from left to right, going away from the player on this side. So yeah, that's the plan with this hole, and let's get into it. Let's start planting down some surfaces and getting this hole looking ready to plant at least. That's what we're going for here. I generally feel pretty happy with how this hole is coming along. I really like this cross bunker here. It's well framed off the tee, and once we get all of this left area planted, it's really going to pop. It's going to be kind of the thing that really draws your attention off the tee, which is what we're looking for. And I'm not trying to be too visually deceptive with this second shot. If you get it up into here, I want you to be able to see the green so that you know kind of where you're playing this hole. But as you can see right here, I've left this space kind of blank, and it's because I want the tree line to come in really close to the fairway here. Because from this spot here, I want you not really to be able to see that right side of the green. I kind of want you to get more blocked out the further you go right and the further you go up. So kind of this area is where you really want to be off the tee, but if you can get it up into here, that is, like if you can get it as close to this bunker here, you will have a good angle in towards that green. And it's a little bit long for my taste at the moment. I really would like to make this reachable so that if you do hit a good tee shot, you can get it up here. There's a couple more sculpting things I want to do, but what I really want to do right now is get the trees in on this hole so I can get a feel for how this hole is going to look and play. It's feeling really open to me, and I'm struggling a little bit to figure out where I need to get the bunkers to look right. So I'm going to plant some trees and get this hole surrounded with trees so that I can kind of get the feeling of what it's going to look like once it's done. And I still want this area, like honestly, like right even here, I think I'm going to make this, anywhere left of that is going to be out of bounds. And I'll kind of come to that a little bit later, but I think right now I'm just going to plant the trees and get everything surrounding this hole looking right. So yeah, let's get in there and let's plant some trees. Pretty happy with some of the progress that we've made here on hole number 9. I put in some of the tee boxes over here, and I think that's going to look really good once we get it all planted. I added some dunes right in here, and I just raised it up a little bit. You can see kind of where I've raised up some of this, and the fairway slopes away a little bit, but it's really going to help this little front section pop and give it some of that depth so that the fairway, it doesn't just look like flat flush up against the fairway. It's kind of got some character of its own, and it makes the fairway feel like it fits into the dunes a little bit. So I think that's going to really help make the fairway pop and make the tee shot a little bit more interesting. So I'm happy with that. Over here, as you can see, we have it very blank, and I added some of the tee boxes actually for the driving range. Now this is going to be the clubhouse side of the driving range. This is where you're going to go right before your round. The clubhouse is going to be somewhere in here, and you're going to take a little cart path over to here, and this is going to be the driving range that you'll hit on as you warm up, and then you'll come back this way and you'll meet up with hole 1, and this is where you'll start your day. So this side of range, this is kind of where it's going to be, and I just made it a flat little area for now. I'm going to do a lot more tweaks to this because, as I said before, I want to make kind of a dream driving range episode, and I think that'll be really cool. I'll get to talk a little bit about some of what I would look for in a really nice range setup and the way that I would want to practice. And definitely want an area where you can warm up and you don't have to go too far. But then I love to have a little back area where I'm kind of away from maybe some of the people who aren't as dedicated to getting better at golf, for a lack of a better word, or an amateur, I guess. And I like to have my own little back section of the range where maybe in here I have some chipping and putting greens, or I have like a wedge area where I can work exclusively on wedges. And I think that's what this section's going to be here. And I'm going to leave it blank. It's kind of frustrating because this is an important part of the hole, not only because it's right where you're going to be teeing off to, like you're going to end up in here and you're going to look this way. Also, this is going to be out of bounds, and this is where the sun comes in. So I really want this area to be well illuminated because I want to be able to see it off the tee. I want to be able to see where the ball is going to be, where it's going to be ending up, somewhere in here. And I think having this open is going to be helpful for that, and it's going to make this look good. But for right now, it's just going to be blank, and that's okay. We're just going to leave it like that for now. So the more that you shy away from this left side, the more difficult the second shot is, and the more you're going to have to shape it, and the more that these bunkers are going to get in the way. And the other thing too is, once you get up into here, the whole green is sloping away. As you can see, I might tweak this a little bit. It's a little extreme. You can see there's a lot of green turning into yellow right here, and I might tone that back a little bit, but I want the green to be an intense green. It is a par 5 green after all, and we're certainly at liberty to make this green a little bit crazier than some of the par 4s and par 3s, because typically if you can get 2 shots, you're going to just have like an 80-yard wedge right into here, and if you try and push it up here, you can get it up into this area and have a little chip shot, or even get it past this bunker down into this bowl area and have yourself a short little chip shot. So we want to be able to challenge the short game with a third shot, and that's kind of the idea for why we would have a crazy green like this. I'm considering this, and I'm curious what you guys think, if I should take out this bunker and just make it fairway, because I do want players to be able to have the option to try and get it down into here, but it's a difficult shot to get it around these trees and go past this, but also get past that bunker. And you know, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I might take that bunker out. You really can't see it from over here. It's blocked out by the trees, and if you're over here, you should be rewarded with being able to get it as far up this right side and have as much green going up the hill and kind of up the green as you can. So I think I'm going to take out this bunker. As I'm recording this, I'm kind of talking myself into removing this bunker and just making a fairway connect from here all the way over to here, and just having a pretty wide area for this third shot. So I think I am going to do that. I've talked myself into it. Let's get in there and let's start planting some of this undergrowth, some of this brush area behind it, and starting to make this hole come complete, because as it is right now, you can see a bunch of the tree trunks, you can see through it, and it doesn't look so good. So we're going to clean that up and we're going to get this hole pretty much done. So yeah, here we go. Let's get into it. I'm going to remove that bunker and add some fairway, and we'll see if I like it. So let's give that a try. So let's give this a test run here, because I just removed that bunker and I want to see if this is really the way I want this hole to play. So we got driver, and I play this on beginner because I'm horrible at this game, as I've said before. So I'm just going to hit this, get it out there kind of in the ideal position, which is up against this left bunker. It kind of fades in towards the middle, which I might change. I might want to be able to keep it up that left side without having the fairway slope it down towards the right. So yeah, let's get this thing turned over here and let's see if we can get it down into this right little bowl. And it gives us the arc because we're on beginner, but that's what it's designed for. So let's see if we can get something over into that right corner and try and entice players to hook it around these trees and get it into a little bit better of an angle. And boy, I really like that. Yeah, that is definitely going to be the play. We're going to leave that bunker off the golf course, because now it's a straight uphill chip towards this green, and if you couldn't get there, if you weren't downwind or anything, you just have that easy little pitch if you're able to get it over to that right side. And it really benefits you to try and keep it left off of the tee, away from that bunker, but in the fairway, kind of right in here, and challenge this OB that's going to be right along here. And if you can do that, you can get yourself an angle that's over in here and gives you a lot more better access to the pins that are going to be on this right side. So with that all done, let's get into the planting. So I really like how this hole is starting to get framed up. You can see that I've filled in a lot of the brush areas around the sides here. So you've got this region right here, and you've got this region right here all filled in. And it really just encloses the hole and makes it feel a lot more complete. And it's really funny how big of a difference that actually makes. Because if you look over here, I think if you're looking just straight ahead, it looks really good. But then when you're looking down, it shows how revealing it can be if you don't have that brush. Because look just past the 9 on the screen there, you can see that there's nothing. Let me clear away some of this stuff as well. Give me 1 second. I've got to get this into F11 mode. You can see that there's no brush out there, way out where all that brown patchy grass is. And it just it doesn't look complete. And I think it goes to show how important these brush areas are to take your eye away from some of the underbrush areas and make it focus more on the well-lit and clear areas of the fairway. And yeah, so I'm really happy with how this has all turned out. There's going to be the 10th hole on the other side over here, which I haven't started to plan yet, but that's about where it's going to go, somewhere in there. So we've got the 9th hole coming down, and I've basically finished all the way up into the end of this bunker. And I've left this area blank still because I want to put something for a range to be here, because I want this out of bounds to make sense. And that's kind of part of the design of the hole that I was going for. Was I really wanted there to be a reason that if you pushed it over to here, you could get a great angle towards the green, and if you push it up this left side. But if you go too far left, you've got this out of bounds. And I did add the out of bounds as well. So something's going to go here. I'm not quite sure what it is yet. It's going to be something to do with the range, probably just a short game area, or maybe even a separate section of range where you tee off here. If, let's say, there was some weather coming in and this was all beaten up, you could go over to this side and you could hit this direction. So yeah, we're just going to keep trucking with this hole. I'm really happy. I raised up these edges a little bit. I think that really helps the look of the hole overall, because it makes the grass of the rough and the fairway just look that little bit separate from the bunker, and it makes it look a little bit more realistic. And so I think raising it up just that little bit gives the hole just that little bit of depth that it needs to pop out of the dunes that we have going here. So Now that we've got all this section up to the bunker done, we're going to finish the rest of the hole out. And I'm going to do a lot more brush area here. And the other thing that I've been thinking about is I might leave this area out as well, because the idea for this whole ending right here is that the clubhouse is going to be right here. And if you're looking through the back, I don't want anything to be obstructing the view of the clubhouse, because that is going to be a really striking view. As you come down the hole, you'll be able to see the clubhouse in the background. I don't know that you'll be able to see the ocean. I think I'm going to have that blocked off, but seeing the clubhouse is a really important view, in my opinion, on the 9th and 18th holes. And so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do in this area yet, so I might leave this blank as well. But I'm going to do everything else. I'm going to do the brush all around the right and left sides here and get some of that planting in around here. So let's hop in there and let's get it done. And then Brock ran out of storage on his computer for the rest of the video. And he didn't realize it until he'd finished the entire hole. So let's just cut to the end, because we got a finished hole now. So let's see how it looks. And just like that, the 9th hole is done. Yeah, so my computer ran out of storage and I continued on planting and finishing up the hole, only to realize that that I didn't have any storage left and the video had stopped recording probably about 20 minutes before it was done. So the hole's complete though. We got it all done. And yeah, I did some stuff that I was planning on explaining afterwards, but then I didn't even get to show you me do it. So yeah, we'll just explain it right now. So one thing I did is I added a clubhouse in the background here. And I know I mentioned earlier that I wanted to do an Oakland Hills clubhouse, but given the time restraints on when I can finish this course and get it done before PGA 2K23 comes out, I think I'm going to do some kind of style like this. And this is not the final design. I just wanted to put a placeholder in there so that we could talk about, or we could see rather, the clubhouse in the background when we're kind of in this area right here. So you can see how I wanted to remove some of those trees in the background so that we could see the clubhouse off in the distance. And I think it does a great job of framing up the clubhouse and making this 9th hole really feel like it's at the end of this front 9 so that we can get started on the back 9, which is going to be over there. So that's one thing that I did. And the other thing that I did was I added this wall. And I know I said I was going to leave this blank and I wanted to be able to see the range from over here, but I was really struggling to figure out a way in which I could do that and make it feel like it was actually, like you'd actually have a part of the driving range right here. And you know what? I just decided that I think this wall actually does a really good job, and I put some planting in here along this wall as well, but I think it does a good job of separating the range and the course. And it's something you definitely see on a real golf course. You'd see kind of a boundary line or a fence that blocks off the range from the course. And I think it looks pretty good, actually. This is something you definitely see, and I don't know. I just really, I ended up liking it, and so I'm just going to leave it in there. I think that looks good. And that is pretty much everything. We finished all of the planting along here. You can see a lot of the brush is done, and it'll look a lot better once we have stuff over here on the other side, because this will be hole 12, and the path coming into the property is going to come along somewhere here. I'm probably going to move this 10th and 11th hole just a little bit, and I'll have the path that'll come along to here. and then there's going to be a parking lot in this area, and then this is kind of where you enter the course, and this is how you get to the first tee. So there'll be some kind of cart set up right here, but I think it'll look a lot better once we get all of that actually put in. It'll make this background look a little bit better. I know it looks a little bit bare at the moment, but I think the underbrush looks really good, and I think the hole has turned out fantastic, and I'm really pleased with the progress we made here today. We did one hole in one episode, R5, so we had a lot that we had to get through, but I think we did a good job of it. One other thing that I wanted to mention was I'm planning on doing a stream, actually. I want to do a stream and kind of interact more directly with you guys, and I think what I might do in thinking about how much time I have to finish this course, I might do a 3-hole stream where I give myself a certain amount of time and I want to complete 3 holes, because at this point I've got it pretty much down to a formula here how I'm making some of these this planting area look and work. So it doesn't take me that long actually to build these holes anymore. I've really got pretty solid ideas on what I want some of the holes to look like. So I think I'm going to do maybe an hour a hole or something like that, do a 3-hour stream, and just get a lot of progress done on this course and do it with you guys too. So I think that would be a lot of fun. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that, because I think that'd be a fun idea and it'd be a good way to kind of engage with you guys and also get a lot of progress done here, because we desperately need it if we're going to get it done before PGA 2K23 comes out. So yeah, that's kind of all I got for this episode. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. So thank you so much. Have a good day, everyone.